Alrighty guys, super exciting one today. We have the brand new Zhiyun Crane 4. And this is a gimbal that has been super, I guess, for me, like it's been in the back of my mind for so long. After the Crane 3 came out, and that kind of revolutionized, I guess, gimbals for bigger cameras. This has been super exciting. However, this isn't exactly what I thought it would be. So let's dive into it. I'll tell you exactly why that is. So with the Crane 3S, I guess being the predecessor of the Crane 4, when I saw this and I got it out of the box, I was a little bit confused because I was like, Crane 3S is designed for big cinema cameras. I assumed the Crane 4 would be equally designed for big cinema cameras, and it is, but it's also not. It's been a much anticipated gimbal that's been coming out, although it is a lot smaller than what myself and a lot of people are expecting, because obviously this is not the predecessor, what's the one before is the predecessor, what's the one after it? The sequel. The sequel to the Crane 3. The Crane 3 was like their flagship big camera one, and then now this is kind of taking over it, but can't hold as much weight as the Crane 3. So we've just balanced it up in the studio. We brought it here to test it out. And first thing straight away is the settings that are default. The deadband is very, very high. So I like my my gimbals to be quite laggy, so I can kind of move a bit and doesn't move. But you can see here, basically you move the tiniest little bit and the gimbal moves as well, which some people do like that, some people don't, but I'm going to adjust the settings now. The other update they've done as well is the little rest support. They brought this onto the Weebill 3, and I was somewhat a fan of it. There was a lot of downsides to it as well, but now what they've done for the Crane 4 has basically solved all the problems we had. So the big one we had with the wrist support was it was good, but basically if you wanted to adjust the angle, you had to fully unscrew it and then kind of adjust it and then get it back in place. And there just wasn't really a quick way of adjusting it and getting in the right position. Whereas what they've done now is you actually hard mount it to the gimbal, and they've got this little adjustment knob, and it just basically does small adjustments, but as soon as you stop, it basically has tension and it will lock it in place, so you can then basically have that. So basically, even on the fly, if you want to make minor adjustments, you can basically do that. You don't have to, unscrew it and try hard mount it on there. So this is when you're going to be using the gimbal one-handed. It kind of helps push some of the pressure onto your arm rather than more so in your chest and whatnot. And definitely actually works good. And now this is the new extension arm they've got. So this was similar to the one that it had on the Weebill 3. I didn't realize this when I first got it. I was just kind of it's a standard sling grip. Obviously now you can go from the rear to the side. But what they've actually done is they've put in actual hard stops. So even if I undo this a little bit, it's still gonna stay there. You have to undo it fully to be able to go all the way. And if you don't get all the way around, obviously it won't lock in. So it's designed to be locked in right at the back or right on the side. And obviously they've done that so it's nice and secure. And then obviously you can extend this as well. So you got the ability to have a big side handle, or again, if we swing it around the back, we can have a handle that slits on the back as well. And now on the Weebill 3, the wrist support was good, but it didn't give as much support as I really thought it would. Whereas this, because you have so much more adjustment, you can really actually dial it in and make sure it's in the perfect spot. And even if you're going from up to down and kind of left to right and stuff, you can make those minor adjustments. Rather than with the Weebill 3, because it was locked in place, I didn't want to adjust it as much because it took too much time and effort if you're in the middle of a shoot. So I just kind of worked with it and just dealt with it not being in the perfect spot. So now if we look at these two gimbals side by side, they look very, very similar. This is the Weebill 3, this is the Crane 4, and you can see what they've done. So they've basically redeveloped what the Weebill looked like, and they've made this new design. Obviously they've realized how good this has been working and how good this has been, I guess, taken on. So basically just scaled this up in every way, and that's what's become the Crane 4. Now the Weebill 3 was a gimbal that I was absolutely insanely impressed by. The algorithm so much better, just the design, the battery life, which is so much more improved with the Weebill 3, and I can see why they've just used this same design in the Crane 4. And I love that they've learnt from their mistakes with the Weebill 3, the wrist rest and the actual handle on the side, and they've adapted it to make it way better, way more functional, and just overall a way better experience. Now the first thing you're probably asking, and the first thing that I definitely asked was, being a smaller gimbal, what is the max payload? They say this can hold up to about 6 kilos. I was able to fly my C70 with a Sigma 18 to 35mm lens on it with no problems at all. There was still a ton of adjustment on here, and I could have, put a bigger lens on if I chose, but also we've actually rigged it up with a Blackmagic Pocket 4K with a cinema lens on the front and follow focus and everything, and that seemed to work pretty good. It was kind of at the limits, like that's probably as big as I would be getting. And so no, you're not going to be able to, have like a fully rigged up cinema camera on here. It's just not what it's designed for. But you can, de-rig it, have the body, the brain, and a lens, and maybe like a follow focus, and it'll work really good on it. And because this is a much more compact design, it means that when you're using it for longer periods of time, you don't get fatigued as quick. Like it's a bit more of like that single hand use, especially with this new wrist support, which I'll get into a little bit later. But you can use it for a longer period of times, and you don't get fatigued as quick as you did with, say, like the Crane 3S. Now, if you do want to figure out exactly what cameras and lens combos are suitable for this, if you head to the Zhiyun website, I'll link it down below, you can see a list of compatible devices, because different cameras and lens and different combos, obviously like the weight's different and the center of gravity is different. So some will work, some will not. But I'm actually really impressed by how much this can actually hold considering the small form factor. Now, one new super cool thing they've added, and I wish I could show you this, but unfortunately this is a pre-production model, is a balance indicator light here. And I'll show a clip of what it actually looks like. But essentially this is to tell you when your gimbal is out of balance at a quick glance. So then if you're changing lenses or you're adjusting stuff, you can see straight away whether it is actually balanced or not. Now, one massive update, which I freaking love, and I guess it's mainly because I'm shooting a lot more vertical content now. You don't have to buy your L bracket anymore. You don't have to get anything else. This has such a cool feature. So basically, if we take this off, there's the button for it. We take this off, and now this whole bottom plate comes off, right? Nothing different. We've seen that before, right? But what they've done is they've basically designed this top arm here to be the exact same. So now we can actually just mount the camera vertically on that plate. So you don't have to add any L brackets, you don't have to change anything, you literally just take it off, put it on there. You will obviously have to rebalance the camera when you do this, but it just makes it so much easier to go from shooting vertical to horizontal without having to use the vertical mode where you're kind of like holding the gimbal awkwardly, and it works really good, but it's just not a very good thing for shooting long periods of time. Now, one thing they have added to this is this fill light. Now, I'm not a big fan of them. I don't really like them. Like it's way too close to the lens, so I would never actually use something like this. But for people that are just wanting, a little fill light, or maybe like, they're shooting just some like run and gun vlog content and they just need a little bit of extra light, you can use it. It's not the greatest thing. It comes with a little diffuser and stuff. But now the downside of having the light on there is that you can't get as much angle out of it because it actually hits on the light itself. So I would rather lose the light and have more adjustments. So especially like when we're going underslung like this, like we can't actually go right underslung anymore because it hits on that light. I would rather lose the light and be able to do more underslung than have that little light. But that's just a personal preference for me. But if you are interested in using this, it is a bicolor light, so you can go anywhere from 2700 to, I think it's like 5500 Kelvin, and you can adjust the brightness as well. Just keep in mind that obviously it's very close to the lens. If you do use a long lens, you might get a lens shadow on your subject. So I recommend using like smaller lenses so it doesn't obstruct this. Right, so now I actually really wanted to try the Bluetooth and all the cables and stuff, but it seems like because I'm on the pre-production model, I don't think the firmware is exactly right with all the stuff that you can connect to the camera. So unfortunately, I can't connect to the Bluetooth for some reason, but I did really hope I could do it. But if you could connect via Bluetooth, it would be an absolutely amazing feature. So you just kind of like go around, press stop record, don't even have to touch the camera, which is sick. Now on the back here, we have a big 1.22 inch touch sensitive color screen. And this is where you actually control everything on the gimbal. So once we turn it on, we have the menu in there and we can find the different things we're wanting. However, what I've noticed, and I'm not sure if this is just because this is a pre-production model, is the screen is like very sensitive. So, navigating through the menus, I had noticed that I actually would accidentally click stuff or make it, find it hard to move between menus and whatnot. Same with the light dial as well. I noticed that, if you try adjust it too quick, it just kind of like loses control and it tries to go the other way. So you have to be a little bit slow with it. But again, I'm not sure if that's a pre-production issue. I'm sure it's something they're going to fix when they actually release this gimbal. Now, some other cool things to mention as well is that we have a little magnetic tightening wrench, so you can actually attach your camera to the gimbal itself. And we also have a protective sleeve on this arm as well. So if you're carrying it around or you're trying to store it somewhere, you're not going to accidentally knock it and kind of like scuff up the gimbal. Now what I love now is that Zhiyun has given us way more control over the button and the dial on the front. So now instead of the dial just being for say like focus, we can actually use this to adjust like the tilt or the roll or anything like that. Typically I'll set it up to adjust the tilt. So say I'm in like a pan follow mode, obviously we're going to be locking the horizon, but sometimes you do need to adjust it slightly. So having this on the tilt axis means that you can kind of set everything up, adjust it slightly, and then continue. And also when you're doing big shots or doing big moves, you can make minor adjustments to this that you wouldn't be able to, say, if you're on follow mode. Right, now I've been using this for the past few weeks, and honestly, I am super duper impressed. So like I said in my other review of the Crane 3, this was one of the first gimbals that Zhiyun brought out that I was like seriously impressed by, and they've just continued to amaze me with the new systems they're bringing out. They're just like, whatever the algorithm, I think it's like their version 10 algorithm or whatever it is, whatever happened between the last one and that, just absolutely changed the game for them. The algorithm's just so much smoother now, the gimbals just operate way better, and they just overall feel much nicer. Now, one notable upgrade they've taken from the Crane 3 as well is the new battery system. So I've actually fitted 4 18650s in here, and you can charge it via a USB port on the side. But this should give you something like 10 hours of runtime. Like, it's absolutely crazy. I basically never have to charge these gimbals. You can use them for a whole day, and they just keep running and running, and you basically don't really have to charge them at all. So now, who do I actually think this is for? So if you do have a smaller cinema camera, like a Red Komodo, a C70, possibly an FX6. I think an FX6 might be a little bit too big for this.
Introducing the Zhiyun Crane 4.
But like an FX3 would be perfect. And looking for a compact gimbal that isn't too big, so it's not gonna, fatigue you when you're running around all day with this. This is an amazing option. However, I still would like to see, maybe a Crane 4 Pro or something. Kind of like the Crane 3S where it could support, those bigger cameras. I'd still love to see a bigger system like that, just because there's not really anything between like the Crane 3S and then say like the much bigger rigs like the Ronin 2 or something. Like, that market just hasn't been filled, and if someone can come in and swoop that up, that would absolutely dominate, because there's no one doing it. But anyway guys, consider liking and subscribing if you did enjoy this video, and if you want to find out any more about the Zhiyun Crane 4, I'll leave some links down below about where to buy it and how to find out more information. Otherwise, stay creative, check this out, leave your comments down below about what you think about it, and I'll see you on the next one. Have fun.